Welcome back to our channel, everyone. I am so grateful you've returned to explore another profound teaching that has the potential to transform not just your practice but your very approach to life. If you're someone who has dedicated significant time and energy to cultivating the Dharma but still finds yourself struggling with a lack of results, today's topic is especially for you. You've probably heard countless stories of people who, despite their unwavering dedication to Buddhist practices, seem to encounter endless obstacles and find their progress stunted. You may be thinking, why am I still struggling despite my best efforts? Or why does it feel like I'm not moving forward, no matter how hard I try? The truth is, Buddhism is a path of deep transformation, but it's not without its challenges. In this video, we are going to address something that many of us have experienced but may not fully understand: the hidden traps that hinder your progress in cultivating the Dharma. There are 6 subtle traps that many practitioners unknowingly fall into. These traps are often disguised as part of the spiritual journey, making them difficult to detect until you've already fallen into them. But don't worry, by understanding these traps, you can avoid them and keep your practice on the right track. The struggle in Dharma practice, why it feels so challenging. Before we dive into the hidden traps, let's take a moment to reflect on why cultivating the Dharma can feel so difficult in the first place. Buddhism, at its core, is about breaking free from suffering, attaining wisdom, and ultimately, realizing enlightenment. But this journey is not easy. It requires intense inner work, self-discipline, and the ability to overcome our deeply ingrained habits and attachments. Many of us begin our practice with a sense of excitement and hope, believing that we will find peace, joy, and clarity through meditation, mindfulness, and the other teachings of the Buddha. However, as we continue on the path, we begin to encounter obstacles, some external, but many internal. These obstacles often manifest as doubts, distractions, or resistance within the mind. In fact, the greatest challenge in Dharma practice often lies not in external circumstances, but in our own minds. So, what does it feel so difficult? Part of the reason is that the Dharma asks us to confront the deepest aspects of ourselves, our attachments, our ego, our desires, and our ignorance. These elements are not easily overcome, and the mind often resists change. In fact, the mind is deeply conditioned to stay the same. This is where the hidden traps come into play. The 6 hidden trappers hindering your Dharma progress. The first trap is what we might call the trap of seeking instant results. Many practitioners, especially those who are new to the Dharma, expect immediate results from their practice. Whether it's a desire for peace of mind, spiritual experiences, or personal transformation, there is often an expectation that progress should come quickly. This is a natural inclination after all. In the fast-paced world we live in, we're used to quick results. However, the path of Dharma is not one of instant gratification. It is a long, gradual process. The Buddha himself emphasized that the path to enlightenment is not a sprint but a marathon. The idea that progress can be rushed is a trap that leads to frustration and disillusionment. The second trap is the trap of external validation. This trap is common among those who seek approval or recognition for their spiritual efforts. It can manifest in the form of seeking praise from teachers or fellow practitioners, or even from family and friends. We may think that our spiritual growth should be visible to others, or that we should be acknowledged for our dedication. However, true progress in Dharma is an internal journey. It is not about how others perceive us, it is about our own internal transformation. Seeking external validation can distract us from the true purpose of our practice and lead us to focus on outward appearances rather than inward growth. The third trap is the trap of intellectual understanding. In Buddhism, we often encounter people who have read numerous books, attended countless teachings, and memorized vast amounts of scripture. While knowledge is important, It is not enough on its own. Dharma practice requires experiential understanding, not just intellectual comprehension. The trap of relying too much on intellectual knowledge can prevent us from integrating the teachings into our lives. We may become overly focused on theoretical knowledge and forget to put it into practice. True understanding rises from direct experience, not from accumulation of information. The fourth trap is the trap of comparing yourself to others. In the spiritual community, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing our progress to that of others. We might look at a fellow practitioner who seems to be advancing quickly or who appears to have a deeper understanding and feel discouraged by our own perceived lack of progress. Comparison leads to frustration and self-doubt. It also distracts us from our own unique journey. The truth is that everyone's path is different. We each have our own challenges, strengths, and pace. Comparing ourselves to others only creates unnecessary obstacles on the path to liberation. The fifth trap is the trap of attachment to spiritual experiences. Many practitioners are drawn to Buddhism by the promise of spiritual experiences, whether it's a moment of deep meditation, a sudden insight, or a sense of divine connection. While such experiences can be profound, they are not the goal of practice. The Buddha cautioned against becoming attached to experiences or seeking them out. When we become fixated on these experiences, we begin to lose sight of the true purpose of Dharma practice, which is to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. When we attach ourselves to experiences, we set ourselves up for disappointment, as these experiences are impermanent. Finally, the sixth trap is the trap of laziness or complacency. This is perhaps the most insidious trap of all. In our busy lives, it can be easy to fall into the habit of procrastinating or becoming complacent with our practice. We might tell ourselves that we will meditate tomorrow or that we don't need to work on a particular aspect of our practice right now. However, spiritual practice requires discipline and consistent effort. Laziness and complacency can prevent us from making the necessary effort to overcome our attachments, ignorance, and suffering. Breaking free from the trap is a path to true Dharma practice. So, how do we avoid these traps? The key is to cultivate mindfulness, patience, and perseverance in our practice. Mindfulness allows us to be aware of the present moment and recognize when we are falling into one of these traps. Patience helps us understand that progress takes time and that every step on the path, no matter how small, is a step toward liberation. Perseverance keeps us moving forward, even when we face difficulties or setbacks. Additionally, it's important to remind ourselves that Dharma practice is a lifelong journey. There will always be challenges, and we will never be finished with our practice. But this is what makes the journey so meaningful. The effort we put into our practice, whether we are meditating, helping others, or cultivating virtuous qualities, is itself the path. The results will come naturally as a byproduct of our efforts. And the path to liberation lies within reach. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it has helped shed light on the hidden traps that can hinder your progress in Dharma practice. Remember, the path to enlightenment is not a straight line, and it is not a race. It is a journey of self-discovery and transformation. By avoiding these traps and staying committed to your practice, you can overcome the obstacles that stand in your way and move toward a life of wisdom, peace, and liberation. As always, I encourage you to reflect on your own practice and share your experiences with us in the comments. Have you encountered any of these traps in your own journey? How have you worked through them? Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on deepening your practice and living a more mindful life. Thank you again for watching, and may you all find peace and wisdom on your path to liberation.